So from here, very rarely will you be fighting from here. You will be dropping to one or the other side. The very, very basic escape is to fall on the side where my arm is trapped. Here, we used to call this the weak side. Now I prefer to just say the underhook side, because this is not really a weak side, this is a good side for me and it's a good side for him. If he fell on here, it would be harder for him to escape because his head is not touching the ground. He needs to have his head on the ground. Plus, I still have strangulation available to me. Let's spin my We're going to assume that he's followed good textbook rules of how to escape. He's falling on the side where he's trapping my arm. Now, as long as my head is here, I have good options at my disposal. All right. The first thing I'm going to do from here is threaten to strangle on him. And see how he does? He already brings his hand up to grab my arm. Does this. This is fine, this is what I want. I use this opportunity to open up and trap his arm here. Now this arm is eliminated. And then I go in and just go for a basic strangle here. Alright? We're not even gonna pull here. I can just get the strangle just by doing that. Alright? But if you want to be more textbook about, guys, if you can't see from here, maybe come around that side. It just happens to be I'm facing here. I'm sorry about that. I'm feeling lazy today, I don't want to spin around. Just don't get in front of my camera. Cool. So, once again. Ross realised he's trying to escape his one head, and I really jam my head underneath, okay? I'm threatening a strangle hand. He would usually bring this hand here. If he brings this hand first, so if you bring this, I don't know why you would use that. He knows instinctively I have a better chance of defending this because I would just overhook, bring this down here. That leaves his other hand free to defend this. He would pull this down and pretend to resist, and here. Now his arm is out of action, and I've got this hook, look at this hook. Now my hand is free, so I can just pull it here and strangle. That's what I do with my hands. There's something I have to tell you about what you do with your legs. Right, now with this action, where he falls on this side, a good habit is to not let your feet just dangle here, but to point this foot upwards. And you do this like this, by putting this foot on the hip, pushing his hip down, which allows your leg to point upwards. And it's a good habit to just put your feet like this. Can you see my shin is more or less pointing away from the floor? If my foot was kind of dangling down here, it would be nothing for Ross to just skip over, and that's how you would start escaping. So there's a lot of talking, which I'm trying to avoid in fundamentals. This is quite a technical position. In a nutshell, this is what you're going to do. He falls on the side where your arm is trapped. Jam your head underneath. Put your foot on the hip, push his hip away so that you can get your bottom leg pointing upwards. You start to threaten with the choke, and whichever hand he uses, if he uses that hand, that's fine. You then push that outwards, trap it with your foot. That's good enough. Now, you complete the move, but say he defends with that hand. Overhook, push that down. Now you have one against nothing. Grab the collar, and from here you could, in theory, just finish, just pushing here, like this. And then you get that. There's a lot there, isn't there? Sorry about that if you're new and this is all a bit too new, but anybody want to see all that again, or you think you've got it? Again, I think newcomers, if you work with the blue belts, they'll help you a lot. You need a gi, so there's a spare gi over there. No, I think that's it. Yes, okay, 1, 2, 3. And you can do this in any position, but just so happens since we're talking about being here. Now, since you've trapped both arms, all he has really at his disposal now is his chin, and his chin is really down. So if you start doing here and drag this across, the collar then goes across his mouth, which is not very painful, and he can slide this out. So you need to open his chin up. So see what his chin, you need that space with which the gi slides in. And it's the same goes for the rear naked choke. You need the space for your arm to go in to do that. If his chin is down, he's defending, and you can't quite get what you want. It would not be, it would be uncomfortable for him because you'd get a forearm across your face, but it would not make him tap. So you need to create a gap. And there are various techniques, and the one, I guess, that it's not pleasant, but gets the most success is the tiger claw. You get the tiger claw, and it starts at his ear here, and drives in and levers up, and you've got that. It's unpleasant, it doesn't hurt, but it's unpleasant. Your instinct is to go like that, and you would want to use your hands to protect yourself, but they're out of action. So once again, I'm just going to ask you to do it once or twice on each other, just to wrap this technique up. So we're in this position, he's got his chin really deep down, you know that you can't finish it off. So tiger claw, the knuckles go in, and lever, you use it as a lever to lever up. And whichever finish you prefer, since we're talking about the collar check, we're going to go for the collar check, finish it from here. Did everyone see that? Yeah? We're using that. You're not trying to, it's not a pressure point, you're not trying to punch in, you're using it as a, imagine this was the underneath his chin, lever up, like that. Okay? Does that make sense? 1, 2, 3, let's go. Twice each.
Whatever.
Was that okay, Marcel?
Yeah.
We've got our favourite seatbelt grip, and he knows to escape on this side. I jam my head in. I am about to threaten here. He grabs, I trap. He uses the other hand. Trap here, and I've got this. But for some reason he jams his head in, he doesn't like this is not working. I have another option at my disposal, alright, and that's to attack this arm. We have to get in position where I can free both legs. At the moment my legs are kind of a bit trapped, alright, and you do this by, see this heel here, this is why I wanted your feet up here. These now serve a purpose where you push down on his hips. See what happens to his body? He moves away. He moves away, which allows me freedom to move my leg over here, sit up, and we are going to get what we call an armbar. Alright, I'm going to talk about the finish in a minute, but the most important thing is your transition to the armbar and how we incorporate all these techniques together. So my favourite seatbelt grip, he immediately starts to think, I jam my head where his, because once his head touches the ground, and we talk about this later on in escapes, and his shoulders edge, I can no longer do these techniques. He is escaping and I've lost back control. Right? So we want to prevent that. But having said that, I do like being in this position because there's a lot more attacks available. And look where my feet are, alright? So we've neutralized his hands, okay? I can't quite get this, or it's not one of my favorite attacks. I have the choice. As the attacker, I choose what to do. I push him down on his hip, which rotates him away, which allows me to get, and everything is tight. Armbar. Okay. Are you happy so far with how we got to the armbar? Yeah. Pushing his hip, rotates away. Now, let's talk about detail about the armbar. It's important you get the armbar correctly, because a sloppy attack here and you've lost it. You've lost the arm and he's escaped. So you have to keep everything tight. You try and remember all these details. Here's the combination of my hands. I'm doing like a karate chop. I bring this towards me, and I bring this down like I'm doing a karate chop. Please don't actually karate chop people. We're pushing his jaw away, which gives me the space. Now notice I'm not swinging my legs out here. Everything's in close contact. Now I use the power of my legs to push him away, only so that I have the elbow, which is where I want to create the pressure, down where my fulcrum, which is just over my hip. I raise my hips over the air. Now, two arms become available. I grab at the wrist. Make sure his thumb is pointing up. Lever it so it just comes across my hip bone here. I bring my face close to him, and I raise my hips up. We get the arm. Right? So the whole thing again. So we feel this side. I'm threatening. Trap this one. Trap this one. Okay, now we're going to push his hip. This is the important bit. This is what people forget about. They just swing their leg over for an armbar. You're not going to get it unless you get a little space. Push his hip, and we're finishing with the armbar. The final bit, please do it slowly. I don't want you to do the fast transition and snap people's arms. Okay. Partners, if you don't know how to tap, now's your chance to learn how to tap. Okay, 1, 2, 3.
You know the tap, right? Yeah.
Start from this neutral position. We haven't fallen over. What we're going to do is I, person on the back, is going to fall, and we're going to start with this. It's the same thing that you're doing. We've just cut out a lot of steps. This is now a warm-up speed drill. So I'm falling, look at my footwork. Don't go for the finish, the full finish, just present the arm, okay? So here we're falling, look at my feet. Yeah, change the angle. Now, in theory, you should be able to do both sides. I'm very one-sided, I don't want to pop up in front of the camera, so I'll just do it from here. Okay, look at my footwork, I'm just falling here, and here. Right, that's your speed version. I want you to do 10 reps each. Yes? Okay, 1, 2, 3. A variation of what we did already. Let's see how it goes. Right, and if you guys don't do this very good, then it's a reflection of me as a bad teacher, not you. Let's say I've gone for here, and I've attacked, and I've trapped. I'm doing everything right. But there's a very simple way he can avoid the armbar, right? He knows that as I do the karate chop, I'm going to swing my leg over, this leg here. All he has to do is hold my leg. Do the anime noise. So I'm stuck. Damn, I haven't got the armbar. But, well, okay, I'll just go back to this. There's nothing you can do to stop me because I've got this again. So I don't know if you want to drill that. It's up to you. Just sort of throw that out there, alright? That's why it's called a triple threat. There's a third technique, alright? Let's say I do go for the armbar, but it's a terrible armbar. He goes to his knees. I follow it, I keep turning, and I straighten. Okay, so that's a belly down armbar. We don't do it a lot. I've caught it a few times in sparring recently. I thought, oh, there's an ancient technique that I really should do more of, alright? You often feel that when you lose a technique, oh, I've lost it, and then you panic, and then you don't follow it up with something sufficient. Well, this is a good example. Right, so we'll go to our usual thing. Here, trapping. I'm going for my armbar. Forget about the leg holding thing, alright? You're going for the armbar, but it's a bit sloppy. You've got this far. If you can straighten the arm, all you have to do is drop your bum to that side. Notice my foot that's underneath Anna's chin. It's not relaxed here, it's up here. This creates tension as you feel tension really on your arm. And then my hip goes forward and I'm pulling the arm up. We'll do it so that he falls that way and you can see what we're doing. And did you want to see this as well? You're okay. Right. So we fall and I'm running the trap. I'm hooking here. I'm going for the arm bar, but it's not a great arm bar. Look what I'm doing here. And I'm just, that's if the arm is straight. Okay, if we have time, we might do the arm where he defends. Right? But for now, very gently, guys. And one could argue it's an even more powerful arm bar than the one you did before. Because it's very hard to defend when your arm is like that. Yes? Work with your partner, okay? 1, 2, 3, let's Your triple threat comes from the back position, you're threatening the choke, stroke regular armbar, stroke the where you flip over that armbar. So you've got 3. And they're interchangeable. So as we saw, if you can't get the armbar because you're holding your arm, well, just get the choke, right? And vice versa. Alright, so let's look at the last technique. I've already lost this one. And it's just more for your jiu-jitsu academic interest. Blue belts will enjoy this anyway. Right. So anyway, we're falling onto this side, we're blocking here, we're hooking here. We're going to go for the arm bar. It's not quite good. He goes onto his side. Look at his arm, it's bent. Good. So I'm here. I can't do the technique that I just did. Alright? A couple of things need to happen before we progress from that. I need to get this leg out and onto the back of his neck. See, I'm hooking my foot behind his neck. This hand now feeds in the other hand. This hand now grabs whatever I can with the trowel. And I'm rolling him over me and we finish off with the and you do this at speed. Right? But we can only practice this. Hands up, who knows who made this famous in the UFC? Got 3 or 4 finishes out of it. No? How memories fade. Ronda Rousey. So Ronda Rousey technique, she probably finished 4 opponents from this, at least 3. You should take one of them famously with the arm. You can see bending backwards. Anyway, I digress. Let's do this one. So it's the same technique as before, right? Same setup. Alright. Trap. Faking this, we're going here. Going the arm bar, but gets to his knees. His partner has to do it, but his arm is bent. I get the leg out. This is important. But I place pressure on the back of his neck. I swap arms. And now, and keep that bent, because when I do the roll, if you don't bend the arm will snap under his own weight. Bring the body to you. Don't just roll over. Bring the body to you. See, look. Yeah. Immediately get over and you get the arm. This might seem fanciful and a little bit obscure, but in the heat of battle, in rolling, you'd be surprised how many times you get in a position where you can roll out of it. In fact, in advanced class, we're doing a lot of rolling back takes, so this whole rolling aspect is, it will soon become intuitive. Right? So it might seem a little niche, but trust me, you'll find ways to get this into your system, as long as you understand the nature of what's going on. Do you want to see this technique?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay, rolling. So same as before, I'll just start from here for speed, okay? We're going for the armbar, but he goes to his knees, his arm is bent. I need to free this leg so that I put pressure on the back of his neck. This arm goes through. So there's really only two changes. Get the leg out, your shin on the back of his neck, and change to a different arm. The reason you change is when I want to grab his leg. Immediately you will hook around. Okay, this is what you want to do. Bring it to you, bring the weight to you, and immediately start attacking from the arm. Okay, then there's the whole lesson on what if they grab their own arm. To be honest, we'll just show it for you. Okay, try a little bonus for you in the session, guys. I'm dying to teach this one. I hope you're
You can get on the side first.